Previously on Sealed Only Ancient Warriors. Next duel that we have is going to be an interesting one, and this is kind of another advocacy for more back row destruction. So we start off with a fairly bad hand, I'm not going to lie. Dark Ruler No More is good, Called by the Grave is alright. Monster Reborn is good for my Reborn Tengu, but I really can't do anything. My opponent gets the Dark Bribe, but he also gets...
Old man!
I fear I'm done. It is over. I am much too old to be
playing against Mystic Mind. Another day, another box of opening Phantom Rage. It's going to be a fairly interesting video because we have a whole box here, but I'm kind of technically limited to only $40 a week. So we're going to have to see what we can do about opening up this box and how we're going to kind of like divvy out the stuff that we need. But I'll break the official Konami seal. And when I think about it, right, when we think about Phantom Rage in general, I feel like this is kind of just like Ignition Assault when we first started. There's just as many important cards that we need in this set, so I'm gonna pretty much just be buying a lot of Phantom Rage in the future. Just like how we needed Ignition Assault to really get started for all of the cards that we needed for the Ancient Warriors in the beginning. Now that we're finally making the Tri-Brigade transition, like what I did there. Now that we're making that Tri-Brigade transition, we're really going to have to be particular about all the cards that we're going to need in here. So we have the whole set here. Now if I split it up, this is a $60 box. So if I split it down the middle, that's 30. And then I guess I would need to take, I guess, a tenth of that, right? If it's 60, well, let's see. I can't do math. I'm not a math teacher. Well, let me see how many I'd have. I kind of want to have we have 12 on each side. So if I leave 8, then I should be good to open up that many next time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then those will be included into the next video, which will probably be another set of Phantom Rage openings. So we got about 16 packs here, and we're gonna see how well we can do. I'm gonna shuffle them up just so that way we don't know, like, you know, what order they're in and so on and so forth. In fact, we probably should have just shuffled all of them up. But we're gonna shuffle all of these up and see what we can do. I'm hoping that we can possibly get some more Tri-Brigade cards, specifically Fractal. We're gonna need at least 2 of him, and we're gonna need the Karas, as well as, I think we're all set on Nervals, but we do need Farigit, I believe, so that should be that. Coming up first, we have Raiders Unbreakable Mind, Gluttonous Griefus, Mutant GB, Arcana Reading, and Nian Nian as our super. So we don't need that, but I am going to hold on to Charge into the Dark World because this actually might be a really good card for Plunder Patrol later on in the future. So I'll put that over there. Cards that we may use, supers, cards that we may use, and then the bulk is kind of just going to go over here in this section. Now, again, there are mainly all the cards that we need are in this set, so it's really going to be important to see if we can really get anything that's going to be impactful. But unfortunately, so far, most of the stuff that we're seeing here is not useful. So there might be some like speed throughs, just so that way we're not kind of just looking at all of the same stuff. And as a result, it's like we might show some of the stuff that we need, but we also are probably just gonna like pause it at like certain points if we open up like a really cool secret, or if we get like one of the ultras or a Starlight Rare. I don't know. I'm thinking about, like, you know, how do we speed up the content here, or how do I change maybe the editing? I would definitely need more than one camera just to make some editing stuff look really good, or I just have to like pause here and then like do a different shot somewhere else. I know I said I was going to take a super out of here, so let's get that super out and move that over there. And then the rest of these bulk cards are probably going to go into the trash. I don't think that there's really anything else, unlike Eternity Code, or unlike the, whatchamacallit, unlike the start of what we had for Ignition Assault. It's like we don't really need to add any cards that we can't use into the set. Most of everything
kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh.
Phantom Knights, yeah, it seems like this is more along the lines of a virtual world Raid Raptors type of thing. And we only have about 5 packs left. We really ran through our packs for this video. So there might not really, again, be, oh, I'm sorry, move the camera there. There might not really be much of the stuff that we kind of need. Heal Eagle, Tri-Brigade Oath, Mutant Synthesis, another Nerval. I think we're already all set on the Nervals, but I'm not really too keen on what some of these other cards might be. I think that we didn't plus. I think this might just be a virtual world box, my friends. Getting the Lulu will help me just get more money just to buy more Phantom Rage. I think that that's going to be the thing. Our first secret here is Dual Avatar Invitation, which means that the next secret is going to probably be in our other pack, or rather the other side. We'll have to see. I don't even know what pack number that would have been. So if I did get it right and like hopefully shuffle in the other secret in this video, then maybe we can plus, maybe we'll get a Zeus. But if not, then it seems like, yeah, this is very much a virtual world dual avatar box, which I can only hope that our last box here, I have 1 box left. I can really only hope that that last box has some of the Tri-Brigade cards, because it's not looking too good over here. Can I even use, I can actually use Infernal Knight Oliver, just as a sense of like summoning him, but we're probably not going to put him in. Let's see if we can get that other ultra rare though. Mutant Synthesis is going to be that card there, which means that this last pack should have an ultra rare in it. Now it could be Farragut, and if it is, that would actually be really, really cool. The only other card it could be also is Tri-Brigade Fractal, so I'll take 3 from the back, move them up, so then we'll go through each card one at a time. Quinglong, Charge into the Dark World, Magical Broker, Dual Avatar Defeating Evil, Exceed Import, Mutant GB88, Mutant Cry, and it is unfortunately Mutant Evolution Lab. So we did not plus. This was, this is not the best box. This is going to be much of the same type of an episode since we have that. But all in all, I guess it's better just to get through all of the fodder. So we're able to kind of just like fast forward into some of the stuff that we are going to actually be able to use next video. So I think we pretty much don't need to do a card review. There are some cards in here that are really good, but some cards that are kind of bad. But all in all, that's going to be our pulls for now. Let's get into the deck, see if there's any changes. And if not, we're just going to jump straight into the duels. So our first round is actually a rematch, and it's up against our Magician opponent. However, this isn't the exact Magician opponent that we faced the last time, but it is another Dark Magician deck, so I guess I can kind of count it like a rematch, and we'll see how we can do. So they start off first by special summoning, and our hand is looking alright, to say the least. We have 2 Ancient Warriors as well as the Reborn Tengu, but what's really important there is that we have our Super Poly. So if I do need to go into something that will stop my opponent, I'll have to kind of like use the Super Poly to really just negate anything that he has. Now my opponent has Magician's Right Hand, which will automatically negate the first spell card that I do play. So we really have to be careful about which one we do activate. I don't want my Super Poly to be negated, but I do have to wait until I kind of have to like bait out the first response, because I can activate my Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of the Magician's Right Hand, but then both of those cards are gone. The only thing that I also need to watch out for is the Exceed monster, which is Norito, and what this card does is if you activate a spell card, you can negate it, or rather if your opponent activates a spell card, you can negate it. So basically, 2 spell negates that we really have to watch out for. They do have 2 darks on the field. However, Super Poly does state that my opponent can't activate card effects in response. So we do have some sort of adage right there. We are able to potentially get over what my opponent has. However, they activate Magician's Navigation in a response to my Called by the Grave in order to prevent me from getting rid of their Dark Magician. So Dark Magician unfortunately doesn't get rid, or doesn't go away, but we are able to activate Super Poly in response. That allows us to then get out the card that we really wanted, which is Starving Venom. Starving Venom is able to take some of the attack. We're able to kind of just cycle off, get both of our Reborn Tengus, and for this duel, I think it's really just important that I start to kind of like flood the field with my Ancient Warriors. So I end up going for Tiger King. I do feel like Abyss Dweller might have been better, just to prevent my opponent from doing any type of shenanigans that would have special summoned Spellcaster from the grave. But I also do have Starving Venom on my side of the field, so if he does potentially get rid of it, we are able to destroy all cards on our opponent's side. Now, they activate Magician's Circle, and this is probably one of the most annoying Dark Magician cards in the game, only second to the second card that kind of combos with it, which is called Eternal Soul. So, Magician's Circle basically allows you to search for any card that has Dark Magician in its name, put it to the top of your deck, and then what most people will play is what my opponent's doing now. They'll activate Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul then special summons a Dark Magician card once per turn from your hand or your graveyard, and then Magician's Circle kind of chains into that, which allows you to special summon, or rather, which allows you to banish 1 card on the field. So we are really trepidatious with our moves here because I don't want to overextend and potentially get something banished. But we also want to make sure that we keep our card alive. I try to see if my opponent is going to take out anything other than my Starving Venom. Unfortunately, the Eternal Soul is very annoying because it's every turn, so even during my turn, you can special summon all of these cards, and then Magician's Circle just banishes it. Now, it's weird that my opponent got rid of all of his monsters, but again, with Eternal Soul, you can just bring them all right back, and doesn't really have to worry about banishing, so we are kind of in a hard place right now. So I activate Borrowing of Arrows. My opponent is waiting. I'm really just trying to see if they're figuring out what they're going to activate Eternal Soul for, which they do. Now it's a waiting game to see what they banish. I do thankfully get them to banish the Zhougong. I need the spell card there in order to activate it off of Sun Mo's effect. I'm then going to also go for something that I do need, which is not Zhuge Kong. There's no reason for me to summon Zhuge Kong, because Eternal Soul also prevents me from targeting any Dark Magician cards with card effects. So I can't really do anything to that, but what I can do, even though my opponent activates Droll and Lockbird, is get Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan's effect destroys Eternal Soul, and then I'm able to attack inwards. So we're actually doing pretty good. As long as our opponent doesn't special summon, we might be all set. They activate another Magician's Circle, which is extremely annoying because it really just helps them get another card back to the top of their deck. However, I don't think my opponent goes for the Eternal Soul again. Oh, never mind. Looks like they do. Looks like Magicians definitely have a particular playstyle. So he activates Eternal Soul, and this is where the duel really gets annoying. Eternal Soul, Magician's Circle, he's able to banish something, and it's most likely going to be my Zhang Yuan since I'm not really able to do anything in response. If he gets rid of Sun Mo, I guess Sun Mo's effect already activated, so I would get a Lu Xuan, but I am able to kind of get something off of this. If I do go for the Tornado Dragon, I can really just decimate his back row, and that's really going to have to be my main play. So we activate Masterful Sun Mo, although we can't send the Dark Magician to the hand. We're going to end up going into the main phase 2. I'm trying to figure out, what do I do here? Do I special summon the Zhang De, or do I go straight for the Tornado Dragon? Realistically, I should just special summon the Zhang De, but I don't decide to do that. I instead go for the Tornado Dragon, which means that I can use its effect on both players' turns, get rid of another Magician's Circle, so hopefully he doesn't get another one. So we're really just going to sit it out, and our opponent takes the loss. Now, who's next? Alright, we're up against none other than one of our rivals, RainingCardGames. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description down below. Be sure to check out not only his sealed only Dragoonity and Six Samurai series, but also what I think is actually my favorite series of his, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wilderness. There was a recent episode that came out this week. Anyway, introductions aside, I'm done giving my rival, the undulations that they want. We're going to get into a really hardcore duel here. So, a remote duel against someone that I think is going to be a very, very hard challenge, not only because my deck is not finished, but also because it's another sealed-only competitor. So we're facing off against someone in our own bracket. Now let's see if we can actually amount up to what our opponent is able to do, because they've already had a few plays and they're going into some craziness right now. So my opponent ends up summoning one of the new Dragoonity Synchros. Actually, I don't even think that's the new one. And I am going to butcher all of their names, so I'm not even going to attempt to do it. Anyway, he has Baby Rock on the field alongside another dragon monster. He's going to then send them both off. Oh, I might have a response here, but it doesn't look like I do. He sends all three of them off to the graveyard to link summon into Romulus. Now, Dragon's Ravine is already on the field. I actually misplay. He only sends two of his monsters to summon out Romulus. Romulus will let him get the initial search for another Dragon's Ravine, and this will allow him to kind of just cycle into a Foolish Burial again and again and again. However, my opponent decides not to go for the Dragon's Ravine. They instead activate Romulus's other effect, which allows you to search for any Dragoonity spell card. So we are stuck here with Romulus on the field, and we really aren't going to be doing anything because two monsters here are really kind of going to slow us down, but it's also going to be something that I don't think at this point have enough firepower to get over. Raining ends up searching for Leviathan and ending up sending one of the cards to the grave, I believe to get Mistletoe. Mistletoe then equips the Synchro, which then special summons it back again, and this is one of the reasons why dragons are probably one of the most supported archetypes that Konami ever has. He ends up going for Heretic Seal of Atum, or Atem, or whatever you guys want to pronounce it as, sending the Mistletoe to the grave to summon out the Leviathan, and Leviathan is then going to allow to get another card, and here we go. So after McAfee tries to get us into its security scam, we're going to return back to the game here, not missing a beat at all, and now we have, I believe this is the new Dragoonity Synchro monster. I'm unsure what its effect is, but there will be some sort of image showing on the screen right about now, so that way you all can read its wonderful effect that definitely isn't overpowered, or it's not necessarily overpowered, but it's just the fact that our deck cannot compete against this type of field. At this point, I really am just surprised that there's no Heretic Seal, that there's no Borreload Savage, that there's really nothing else on the field. But gets another Mistletoe, and because Dragoonity cards came out forever and a day ago, all of their effects are not hard once per turns. There's the Heretic Seal, which will eventually bounce one of the cards that we have on our field. Raining sets a face-down card, thus having no more cards in his hand, and we are off to the races. So let's see what we can do with an incomplete field. Nothing starts a field better than Dark Ruler No More. However, it is negated, I believe, by one of the Dragoonity trap cards, which will also be showing up on the screen right about now, so that way you all can read its wonderful effects. So we end up getting our Dark Ruler negated, which again, all really just stops our entire plays, because the whole point of this is if we're able to get over the Heretic Seal, or if we're just able to negate all of the monster effects, summoning the Sunmo and going for the bounce with Juku Kong is going to be a lot easier. But if those effects are negated, then we're not really able to do much. So we don't have the rest of the Tri-Brigade cards. We definitely need those, because that would at least allow us to get off some extra monsters on our field without worrying about our normal summon. We do end up normal summoning out our Tri-Brigade Nerval. However, Raining does not even give us a chance to even do anything, bouncing the Heretic Seal, or rather sending the Heretic Seal, which will then send our card back to the hand. I believe that card that he summoned is one of the Amorphage monsters, but I also might be wrong at that point as well. However, Nerval is back in our hand in a position that we don't want him in. We end up setting a card face down, and that's going to pass our turn. Gee, I wonder how this duel is going to end. Either way, we're going to have to get a rematch here. This is a full match, and this entire match, I believe, is also on RainingCardGames sealed-only Dragoonity videos. But if you guys want to see the full match, and this is kind of the sneak peek, if you would like to see how this entire match ends, go and check out the rest of the duel on his channel. And if you want to see how this first duel ends, well, just stick around, and I'll be able to tell you how we somehow, possibly, potentially turn this round. So The Dragoonity Ducks is then added to the hand. Mistletoe is on the field. Mistletoe goes for the Dragon Monster, which again, we're able to kind of just send both of them off to get another Mistletoe. And this is a fairly stacked field. You know, Mirror Force would be really nice about now, but we don't have it. Sunmo, Zhuge Kong, and the fabled Cerberlo. Without Karis, we can't do anything. And that, my friends, is the end of the duel. So, we're really not winning any of these games, my friends. I believe we're currently at 5 wins and maybe like 7 or 8 losses. Not bad, but not overall what we want to have at the end of our sort of field here. So we definitely need an upgrade. We need to pop open some more packs in order to get more of the cards. I'm honestly thinking that instead of me going for Phantom Rage to try to get the rest of the Tri-Brigades, I'll wait for the Megatons to come out and then just crack those open and hopefully get the rest of the Tri-Brigade monsters that I need out of that. Now we still need the Farigid, so that's kind of going to be our next target card, but we'll have to see what we get with the next set of packs. Anyway, with that being said, I've been the Artist with the Fro. Be sure again to check out Raining Card Games. His link to his YouTube channel will be in the description down below. Be sure to follow me on all forms of social media, YouTube, Twitter, etc. And be sure to check us out when we return for episode 8 of Sealed Only Ancient Warriors. But with that being said, I've been the Artist with the Fro, and that, my friends, is the show. Thanks for watching.